And there's only two desires that all humans have. Now, we all have different dreams, different goals, different things that we want. But if you go to the deep of what it really means, it's two things. We all have the desire for freedom in this world. So we all, if you want to start a business, it's because you want more freedom. If you want to buy a bigger house, it's because you want more freedom. If you want to travel the world, it's because you have more freedom. So we either desire freedom, or we also desire, of course, love. And that's like the higher love, right? The first love that I mentioned is like the self-love and that energy, but this is like a higher love. So people who want to start a family, who want to get married, find the one, that's a desire for love. And we all have these two desires inside of us. And these two desires come from the two energies that we have, which is masculine energy and feminine energy. So the desire for freedom is masculine energy. The desire for love is feminine energy. So that's what we desire. And ultimately, it's peace. I think we all want, so yeah, there's all these things, there's the needs and desires, but I think that as humans, we look for all these things because we think it's going to give us peace, right? That's what we look for when we think about very often our older days and how we will live. We have this image of like living a peaceful life, being more in peace. So yeah, that's what I learned with the 30,000 students.
Beautiful. Do you think we can reach, and I'm not trying to mess up your business model here, but I would tend to think that you can reach peace without, by just focusing on peace. Kind of, if I'm correct, it feels like kind of there's some levels, right? But I'm like, if the ultimate desire, and let's say, this is what you're suggesting, then I'll think about it and I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree, right? Like technically, at the end of the day, if I feel peace, and obviously there's some different components to that, but this will make me fulfilled. So I want peace, or I want to focus on peace and do whatever I can in order to grow and to feel that peace. Don't you think that basically that could become just the only focus, or you have to kind of go through those other steps in order to like kind of deconstruct that?
It's a very good question. I think that if we look at what gets us to peace, it is those little things. That's my opinion. Like, again, if we talk about security financially, yeah, of course, you perhaps don't need that. If you want to be like Gandhi, you're not going to need to have financial security. But then again, we could argue on that because a lot of the peace world, the world peace names, or the people that are promoting peace, they have financial backing in order to promote their message, right? And I think that in history, we see that. So there's a security, but I think the security of feeling like no one's after you. Right? It's very hard to be at peace, to be like a promoter of peace and to go and if you feel like your life is constantly in danger. So that's security. Same thing for love. Again, it's not love in the outside world, but it's more love like inside. If you are living in fear, which is the opposite of love, then it's going to be hard to have peace. Growth. I think maybe growth could be arguable because, but then again, when you go into peace, even in Buddhism, there's levels, right? To the levels of enlightenment, right? There's the different levels of enlightenment. So again, it brings us to growth a little bit. And then purpose, I think that the purpose could be just, peace, basically, wanting to promote peace, wanting to have a purpose. Because people who, let's say, go in a monastery, right? It gives them a sense of purpose, right? At the end of the day, it gives them a certain sense of purpose. So I would argue that that's still a little bit, but not in the more physical side of things, like meaning financial security, maybe it's not necessarily needed. Love, like relationships, maybe you don't really need that. Purpose, having a career, maybe you don't need that. Growth in terms of growing in your business, or maybe you don't need that. If you want to be more on the really spiritual side of things and be a peace warrior, right? So yeah.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And actually, I think when you were saying that, it got me to think that there's like kind of, for most of those emotions or states that we look forward to, or that we want to create, or that we do have, whatever the state is, the stage is, there's like kind of a temporary and also the kind of the throughout time. Doesn't mean that it stays forever, ever. But for example, you can be a depressed person and have a moment of happiness, right? it doesn't change how you feel overall, and maybe even a few minutes later you're back to your regular state, but it doesn't mean you cannot live a moment of happiness. So I think that's where I was coming from with the peace, is like you can still find moments of peace here and there, but it's true that it's what you're talking about, it's really kind of this ultimate level. But which would you say that once, let's say, you reach it, it's kind of like, I'm here? Or like, how does it work when you do, let's say you go throughout all the growth, the work you have to do, the exploration, the discoveries, the journey, and you get to a point that you're like, this is where I wanted to go for the past years. Do you stay there forever? Do you go back down and you're like, oh shit, I gotta go back up? Like, how does it work?
I'll tell you when I get there. Because to be honest with you, I haven't gone there. You know, I think that people who get to that place, I also wonder, you know, is there some sort of boringness maybe to that? Like, I don't know.
Kind of you reach the peak of the mountain.
Exactly. Or do you at some point want to like rest? I know for me, I'm not at that point yet, right? Where I'm still, you know, in level of, let's say the needs and the desires, right? I still have a lot of goals. I think have a lot of things that I want to accomplish. So I'll tell you when I get there, right? Or you tell me when you get there, right? We can have that conversation after, when we eventually get to that point. Then we'll be able to tell the people how 100%. It's like.
100%. But if I can, actually, it's a very good comparison, I think, in the situation. Do you know Michael Beckwith?
Yes, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, he's a
he
reverend.
Was in The Secret, right?
Exactly. He's in The Secret, a reverend, a preacher, incredibly powerful and intelligent man. And he described, I don't know if he made it up, I think he did, the 4 levels of spiritual awakening. Okay. It's very interesting. And I think I just brought it down just to reformulate it. And I'm not taking any credit for that, but it's just to simplify, and it also works, to the 4 stages of growth. Because like he uses the word spiritual, and I'm like, well, those stages work as much for anything related to personal development or growth. And it's basically, the first stage is life is happening to me. Okay. Right? And obviously there's explanations how it feels and what to do when you're there.
But like a victim, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The second one, the life is happening by me. You take control and you're doer, you make decisions. But the third one is life is happening as me. So now we're talking more about like, this is my calling, or like I feel that there is this kind of flow of energy and passion and everything coming together. And sometimes I'm planning my year, but for then 2 weeks, I'm not even realizing I'm executing on my plan because I'm so in it.
Yeah, you're one with everything.
And then the fourth one is like through me. No, I'm sorry. Third one is through me. Fourth one is as me. So you are like one with the people, the world, every single thing.
That's very nice. That's interesting.
The reason why I wanted to mention that is because he said that you can very well be in different areas of your life at different stages. And also move from one to another, right? So you could be, for example, with your love life, you could be, let's say, stage 3, right? It's very flowy, it's very natural, let's say. Right. But then in your career or in your whatever else area of your life, in your health, you're like feeling like a victim because you have some patterns from the past that blah, 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 right? Okay, And most importantly, he said that you can go back and forth different areas, but so what's the most interesting thing is that it's never necessarily a journey that we reach. It's kind of an ongoing journey.
Cyclical. Yeah. It's not linear. Life is not linear. Life is cyclical.
Exactly.
I believe that, yeah.
But you can still get to experience the beauty and the power of each state.